The Grinch! Brilliant! You reject your own nose because it represents the glitter of commercialism. Why didn't I think of that?
You're now listening to Diagnonsense
First floor, factory reject.
with Justin Pendergrass and Kurt Honak.
How to take care of those pesky memories. We did our worst, and that's all that matters.
So, because we have... Yes, let me pull this out. Because we have a limited amount of time today, and also because our soft open turned into a hard open, and we just talked for the whole time about that subject, I have prepared our soft open content, and then we can get directly into our main thesis for today.
No.
'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. But the pills in the cabinet were not stored with care, for no one thought that prescription drug Krampus would be there. The caps were not screwed on all that secure. It was just too easy for a child to procure. And the bottle to the left, it was not prescribed. Who knows what dangers could be lying inside? As if he could sense it, the pill thief he came to remove unused medication, if not to cast blame. Down through the chimney into the bathroom he strolled. Through each cabinet and drawer he patrolled. What was misused and expired, all that he scooped up, placed every bad pill inside of his cup. As soon as he came, just as soon he was gone, but the horrors of his face would haunt all well past dawn. Before he left, he let out a shriek and brought all the house up onto their feet. They heard him exclaim ere he crawled out of sight, "Down with Big Pharma, and to all a good night."
Did you write that yourself?
Yes, I did. You didn't know I was a poet, did you?
Krampus wrote that.
I didn't write it, Kurt. That's the legend is as old as time.
It's as old as time.
If your concept of time starts with the beginning of this podcast.
I don't know. I feel like that was kind of a hard open.
Scripted open. Scripted open.
I don't know. People are gonna know that was written.
Yeah, I would hope so. I spent all of 20 minutes writing that. I had to look up the original poem and everything. I was just staring at a picture of Kurt while I did that
to
also.
the label.
Yes, thank you.
You're not going to get any of your royalties because that's how it works.
Darn.
That's how it works.
Labels work a lot like Big Pharma. They pretend that they're for you.
The music industry is Justin's Big Pharma.
We kind of organically branched into that from Josh's conversation.
A little bit.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in to Diagnonsense. I'm your host, Justin Pendergrass. I'm here with Kurt Honak. How you doing, Kurt?
Doing good.
Awesome. Isaac's, I guess, is here as well, as unfortunately as that sounds.
Yeah, and we don't have a housekeeping because this is a special episode just for you. That's my Christmas gift to you, Justin.
2 in a row. Whoa.
Well, the last time was just because I forgot, so that's not my fault.
Kurt, what are we talking about today?
Talking about the Grinch who stole Christmas. Jim Carey's
The hero?
The Grinch!
The hero of Christmas.
Yes.
The hero of Christmas.
Come on.
He's not the hero.
If it wasn't for him,
The
they
hero
wouldn't have
in
gotten
my
the
heart
presents
as
back.
well.
Yeah, he's not the hero we deserved, but he's the hero that we got.
No, the thing that I like
Hero
about
that
the
we need
Grinch
right
is
now.
that he is the hero of that movie, but he's only a hero because he created the bad thing.
He
So-
created a problem that only he could solve,
Are you saying
Right.
and gets a redemption arc because of it.
Are you saying this is a Karl Marx story?
I don't think we should get into that.
Look,
You have to
I do
create a
find-
little chaos during Christmas for
Listen,
it to be.
society created the Grinch. The movie makes it very clear that it is a societal problem.
Yeah.
So really, who are we going to blame but society? Justin, I know that this is one of, really it's one of mine, and I believe Kurt's as well. It's up there. As far as Christmas movies go, it's up there. The Grinch, Home Alone, Die Hard.
Die Hard is definitely up there, top 5.
Okay.
If not the top 3 greatest
Yeah, right,
Christmas
Kurt, Die
movies
Hard.
of all time.
Great Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. We got verbal
course.
confirmation.
We're all on the same
Honestly,
page.
I'm going to be honest. I've never seen it. I got to go watch
Oh, whoa! I thought you were just
All right.
acting like that because you didn't think it was a Christmas movie. But
it. No,
I thought
no, I've
I
never
thought the
seen
worst thing today was going to be Isaac's little poem at the beginning, but you just topped it.
it was
Kurt.
not.
it. Yeah.
It was not. So congratulations.
So do we
Isaac.
start with this movie where the movie starts, or do we start
No,
chronologically
let's,
where it starts?
Well, so
Because-
just a little background real quick.
Sure.
Jim Carrey's The Grinch was created in 2000, so coming up on 23 years.
Yeah, they.
And the director was Ron Howard.
Yeah.
And it's super funny to me because the movie that he released before that was Apollo 13. So he went from Apollo 13 to The Grinch That Stole Christmas, which is just mind-boggling.
Yeah.
And it's just really funny to me.
Yeah, I mean, they had like a bunch of directors and actors that they were considering for the role as well. But I mean, Jim Carrey does an excellent job.
Well, one of them was going to be Eddie Murphy or Jack Nicholson, which to me, I don't know that either of them could have pulled this role off as
No.
well as Jim Carrey did. Nothing against Eddie Murphy, because I really think he's a genius, but I don't think that anybody could have done this role as well as Jim Carrey. Oh, maybe Robin Williams.
Yeah, I could see a Robin Williams, although he is a little more
Wholesome.
Well, just like zany in like an exciting way. Jim Carrey's zany in like a man, I'm not sure if I should be a little bit concerned way.
Yeah, he's
like
got a special kind of insanity about him. Yeah.
yeah, like Robin Williams, I know that he's just having fun. Jim Carrey, I'm like, I think he's having a good time, but also like if it came out that he was actually like a sociopath, it wouldn't surprise me. But that's also a good thing because it means he's it just is because he's a really good actor. But
No,
also,
he's
like,
just-
if he was a sociopath, I wouldn't be.
Other cool facts. I'm actually looking at a fact list, and
I can
over the
tell
other day.
riveting content. If you want the same experience as Diagnonsense, just go to Google, type in BuzzFeed, and you too can read the list that
Well,
Justin's reading right now.
I'm just giving you guys some snippets that were actually really interesting about this movie. So Taylor Momsen.
Yeah.
Momsen.
She's a rock
Is-
star, man.
Yeah, she played Cindy Lou Who.
And
And now she's like
I
a
didn't
super
know that
heavy
was-
metal
Grinch.
chick.
yeah, I didn't know that was the same person. I like grew up and
Yeah.
I was like, Taylor Momsen kicks ass. And then I was like, you're telling me she was
Yeah,
a
she's
character
Cindy
in one of
Lou
my
Who.
favorite movies too?
Where are
Yeah.
you, Christmas? And then
Yep.
you just put that side by side with what she was
she does now.
releasing now. Yeah. It's a little bit of a different genre.
She I think she was saying one of her mentors, and I forget. I watched a special on it, and that where she's struggling a little bit, or was, because she's just lost a lot in her life. I guess like one of her mentors, and she's she's awesome though. She's like one of my favorite female rock artists.
And she
that I
seems
No, she's sweet.
I'm still
She's-
discovering her.
somewhat well adjusted for being a child actor as well, which is always good to
Well,
see.
it's because
Yeah.
she didn't get the role of Hannah Montana that she was actually in the running for.
Oh boy.
Other, it could have
Dodged a
been
bullet-
worse. She
dodged a
could have
bullet on
come in
that
like
one.
a wrecking ball or something.
No, she definitely better life trajectory probably. Does
Yeah,
it, like,
so The
permanently
Grinch is
give you mental
actually the
health
movie
problems?
that made her want to be a musician.
Well, because I can
So-
see that because the theatrics, right? Like in the 90s, I think about like shock rock and all the theatrics, and I go like, that seems like an organic transition from, not that I have any personal experience, but just watching, some of my favorite artists, in the 90s are like, watching all the production, all that goes into that,
Yeah.
I can see that.
Also, I'm sure you're getting to this, Justin, but the one fact I know about this movie off the top of my head is that Jim Carrey had to train with like a CIA interrogator or something that gave him lessons on how to withstand torture because the makeup process was so excruciating every time they had to put it on.
I could almost believe that.
It's like, it's full body makeup with like prosthetic hair, and yeah, I don't know. And it's hard to tell because Jim Carrey's face is so expressive, so you can't tell quite what's like makeup and what's just Jim Carrey. But it's I don't know. Not for me, man. I couldn't if that's what was required of me to be an actor in something like this, no shot. I'm not going through Justin, only because I know that you have this fact in front of you, if it's on that list. How long per day does it say that he had to wait in makeup to get dressed up?
I'm looking it up right now because
it's an insane amount of time.
It's like
to just be
Yeah.
sitting there.
Right here. It took 8.5 hours for him to put on the costume, and a CIA expert came to help him. The struggle continued as Carey just couldn't find any kind of happy place during the transformation process.
But to be fair, he was playing the
it
Grinch,
felt like
so
he was being buried alive.
he was putting him in
He-
character.
Well, I could see that though. I love the CIA reference because there is sort of like a Williams Burroughs level of insanity with his character. Like he's like this anarchist type of, and like is a societal outcast, and I just all the tropes. Of course, it's like kids friendly, right? So it's not like William Burroughs level quite, but it does have that level of insanity of like, nothing is really sacred. He has like a certain insanity about him that's just like, I want to say, that's just kind of raw,
Yeah. Okay, let's get into the actual movie because there's a lot to talk about as far as what we can analyze from it. I think I want to start with the Grinch's childhood because and you do see that pretty early in the movie where he is clearly not he's not like most guys.
He's not like most children.
Based off the fact that he's like green and also has a beard and also like eats garbage.
So basically he's Shrek except worse.
Yeah. And he gets raised by these elderly who are in a swingers party, by the way. I rewatched this movie for this episode. Did not realize that until this most recent viewing. You like floats by the window and they're all putting their keys in a jar at this big party. And I'm like, oh, that one flew over my head. That flew over young Isaac's head when he was watching this movie.
Keys in the thing.
Kurt, don't be naive. Don't be naive,
No,
Kurt.
that's exactly
this
what
is
it was, Kurt.
100% a swingers party. And so he is, it seems like, frequently bullied for his appearance and also at age 8 after a shaving skipping over some stuff after a shaving mishap and being bullied proceeds to destroy the classroom. He now hates Christmas and he wanders off to go live in the mountains by himself in a cave at age 8. Pulling up the ACEs score chart. That is.
So he's homeless.
Yeah, he's. He's got some.
That's probably what we identify with him, Kurt. He had depression, clinical depression. He was bullied. He was kind of feeling like a loner.
Yeah, totally.
I feel like
pissed off at the world.
Yeah. He had one friend, and it was a dog that someone threw away.
It's true.
He's got at least a 3 on the ACEs chart if we kind of make some assumptions. No?
I think you can dig deeper than that because, he never had anybody who loved him or cared for him.
Well, he did have 2 parents. He did have...
not after 8.
He's clearly,
yeah, I guess.
He clearly has a problem with alcoholism in the movie. He's got beer bottles all over the place.
Yeah, but he's eating the beer bottles.
Does that count as being an
alcoholic?
Yeah, it's an innuendo.
Okay.
Is that like a crystal problem? What do you...
Yeah. Interesting question. I don't know if he... Okay, here's what I found interesting. I also picked this up on the most recent viewing that he lives in the garbage, right? But he's basically living in the discarded remains of Christmas past.
It's symbolic.
Yeah, you see him coming out of the trash chute and it's just old Christmas trees and wrapping paper that's all ripped up and smashed Christmas boxes. So it's feeding into this hatred for Christmas because of his childhood trauma.
Right.
He is not only societal garbage, because of his status, but he also lives in society's garbage. Just maybe a little on the nose, but it's fitting. I mean,
but he's adapted to the garbage. He's
Yeah.
become a real heretic.
yeah, he definitely like has embraced the garbage. He embraces the garbage.
Embrace the garbage.
But he also like if you watch the original Grinch cartoon, like it's all the Who's and you're like and then like up on the mountain is just like this green like Scrooge character. He's like, I hate Christmas. And then you like watch this movie and you're like, yeah, I'd probably hate Christmas too if I lived in garbage and also like was bullied constantly as a child and left at the age of 8.
Part of that hate isn't just because of the bullying around his Christmas season. It is because everyone there was happy and he wasn't happy. But also because 90% of his garbage was stuff that these people would get these presents and then they just throw them away.
Yes. There's an important lesson about consumerism in here as well, because when he gets the award, what finally sets it off is I think the mayor gives him a razor in reference to his trauma, and it triggers him, and then he's just like, you know what you do with all these gifts? You throw them in the garbage, and then you know who gets them? I get the garbage. I am the garbage king. You know, basically something like that. It's not quite those words, but he definitely, he feels like they're all a bunch of hypocrites, basically. And the reason why he thinks they're all hypocrites is because he's misunderstanding the message of the movie, where he just thinks that Christmas is about presents. He doesn't understand why people give them. And then, so if Christmas is about presents, but all of you throw your presents in the garbage, then Christmas is meaningless and you're all a bunch of hypocrites for acting all excited about it every year.
Yeah, well, and a lot of Jim Carrey's lines in that were improv.
Yeah.
Like, he completely just throws out these random like things that weren't supposed to go in the movie and they just ended up in the movie. Like mine and Kurt's favorite, dinner with myself. I can't cancel that again. That was an improv line that wasn't written in the script, which is just even funnier.
It is. It's a great. It's friggin'. He's got
the
so
tablecloth scene where he rips the tablecloth off because he's looking for something to wear.
Yeah, he does it perfectly, and all of the china and like glasses and stuff stay on it, and then he walks out of frame and then walks back in and just like knocks them all back off the table.
They were supposed to be broken. Like in the first pull, he was supposed to break them all.
And he just accidentally did it perfectly.
But I feel like if you've ever been like super pissed and you did something stupid to make a point, but then it like didn't work, like everybody identifies with that moment, right? Because they're like trying to display how angry they are, and then something just stupid happens that makes you want to laugh.
Yeah.
So that's really identifiable. It's funny.
I didn't know that but Jim Carrey actually sings the vocals for the "You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch" song for that movie.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I don't know if I knew that either.
It's not. I'm a big fan of the classic Grinch Christmas song, but I mean it's all right. They do something a little bit different, although it's kind of hard. I feel like it's hard to improve on that original.
I
Grinch
like all
song.
the versions of it.
There's
like a punk rock one.
You
that
like
they just came out with too.
Do you like the Benedict Cumberbatch version that was in the
All
other
of them.
cartoon? Okay. Because I heard that one was not as good as either the original or the Jim Carrey Grinch movie.
I guess I'd have to hear it because I don't remember that one.
I can't pull it up.
The new
We
2017
will
song?
get copyright strikes if I put that on here. So I guess you're just going to have to look it up yourself. Here's your homework for this episode. But I mean, it's the story of the Grinch. I feel like we don't really need to go into the plot points of the movie so much as far as like what the main problem is. Goes down, steals all the presents. It's a little stranger that Cindy Lou Who doesn't recognize him or his voice despite him hiding his face, because she's met him multiple times in a variety of capacities and still just is like, okay, I guess Santa is just being weird. And then she goes away. And then he steals the presents. And then the mayor, who's played by, I can't remember the actor's name, but he plays the Michael Bluth Sr., Michael Bluth's dad from Arrested Development. And he's great. He's great in this
funny
movie.
as hell.
Basically thinks that Christmas is also about presents. That's another interesting thing, is that the Grinch and then the mayor character are in the same class, and they both have this view of Christmas where it's just about, it's like a selfish view where the mayor is selfish. He always gets whatever he wants. He's always gotten a bunch of presents. He's always the center of attention. And so he thinks that Christmas is just about him getting stuff. And the Grinch never gets anything and he never has like really received anything for Christmas. He never gets any attention at Christmas. And so instead, now he just thinks that Christmas is all about other people getting presents. And so he also, they both have the same idea about Christmas, but one of them is like a have all and the other one is a have none. Oh. And it shifts to where the mayor, when Christmas doesn't happen, is the only one that isn't able to like realize that, okay, well, Christmas is actually about being together and, you know, giving rather than receiving. And yeah, you know, the magic of the season and blah, 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 whatever the movie's message is. And he can't get that. And the Grinch can, because now the Grinch is the one giving out all of the presents. And also his heart grows 3 sizes or something, blah, blah, blah. He gets all the presents back and they sing Fatu Nore at the end. I mean, it's, really, the end of the movie is basically the entirety of the original Grinch cartoon. And before that, there's an hour and a half of just like Grinch shenanigans in and around town.
Yeah, I think what makes Jim Carrey's version special, though, is just like the level of codependency. Like, he needs to be loved. Like, he wants to be loved like so bad.
Well, he wants to, but he also refuses to allow himself to be.
He's got like this, and I say this without trying to validate the DSM, but this like reactive attachment disorder like behavior where he just like tries to sabotage everything, but deep down inside he like really wants to be loved. And I think like if you, I don't know, like when I first saw the movie too, it kind of, I was kind of freaked out about it a little bit because Jim Carrey played a really convincing crazy person, I think, in that movie. But I remember seeing like the like feel, I identified with that, you know, where he feels outcasted, but he really wants to belong like really badly. Yeah. But it's this weird thing where he's like, he can't get over the cognitive dissonance of like the celebratory, like, you know, environment and spirit of the events. And he can't like reconcile that with his own trauma and his own past.
That's one take, Kurt. Here's the other take. He didn't know the true meaning of Christmas, and when he realizes it, then it's Christmas magic. But I mean, that's an interesting analysis as well.
That's
I suppose.
But it's almost like he's got two different cultures going on because he's coming on it from a different perspective. Like he doesn't believe in the tradition and he doesn't believe in any of the.
Well, it kind of goes back to that quote that you brought up, Justin, where he gets nominated for the award of Holiday Cheermeister by Cindy Lou Who, and he's like looking for any excuse to not go accept the award and like be around people and maybe get some positive attention from his peers, where he's just like, dinner with myself, I can't cancel that again. It's I guess that's all I have to say about that. But yeah, it ties into what you're saying, Kurt, where he's just looking for any excuse to self-sabotage himself.
Yeah, he's
self-sabotage himself. That's redundant.
He's
self-sabotage.
That's like,
so he struggles with self-sabotage.
Yeah.
Clinical depression. Kurt says codependency, or the lack of being able to be codependent because no one's there.
He's codependent with Max.
Ooh.
Yeah. No, he's aggressively abusive to that dog.
Oh.
He takes out his frustrations on that dog.
But he also, that dog is his only friend, which that's an observable behavior in real life too, isn't it?
Well, if he's actually, you know, if the glass bottles is actually an analogy for alcoholism, then he's a chemical dependent, right? And he just tries to correct the world into his traumatic chemical dependency view of the world, but he can't reconcile the world because the world won't go along with him. And so he has to like, meet in the middle, you know.
And now he is engaging in generational trauma by depriving his son, Max, the dog, of the same love and affection that he did not receive when he was a youth.
Yeah. Max is a scapegoat.
He does praise the dog at one point.
He does.
With his nose.
Well, he does, yes. But you can tell that he loves the dog, right? Like he does see the dog as his friend and companion, but he's unable to engage in a loving relationship with his one friend because he doesn't know what that looks like. That's a real problem.
Point out the irony of like the dog being man's best friend, and it's like he like tortures the dog. It's terrible. It's so sad.
I do feel bad for Max. I mean, Max, I felt worse for Max in this movie than I did in the original Grinch. Max is just kind of cute, and he's also a little prankster. In this movie, Max is just like, he's just abused.
He's got Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah, well, maybe. I don't know.
It shouldn't have affected him too much because it was played by 6 different dogs.
Oh,
so
really?
So the dog had split
spanned it out
personality
between
disorder?
the 6 of them, so it wasn't full on abuse.
I'm glad that
they
you
spread
have
the
this
abuse.
expansive knowledge of Jim Carrey Grinch facts just queued up and ready to go at a moment's
Yeah.
notice.
Well, another cool one that you guys haven't even touched on is the thing that he made that ended up getting him made fun of, which was that little, it was like a Christmas topper angel that he handmade.
Yeah.
Which doesn't even look that bad, but the kids
No, it's
act like it's
actually
a
really
piece
cool.
of garbage, and I'm just like, man, that's so that doesn't even look that bad. And then I thought, actually, kids are terrible. They probably would make fun of him for that, like,
Just because he's
Well,
green.
and,
yeah,
if
because
you-
he's green. It's because he's green.
If you pay attention, the jewels that were in that actually are hanging in the lady's hair later on when she's talking about it.
Oh, the girl he has
She's
a crush
wearing
on,
them.
Martha
Yeah,
May
she's-
Huvier. Yes,
That's funny.
Yeah. That she's wearing it. So they did like little throw-ins that like you don't necessarily pick up on.
Can we pick apart her issues really quick? Because she has a like. I don't even know if we. I don't know if we can get into it, but she has some sort of intimacy disorder that is associated with this person that she has not seen since she was 8. That's weird. She's in love with a kid.
You mean, well, maybe it's like the symbol, like he was a bad boy when he was in school, so now he's like the bad boy.
It's
when
what
he's
he
a grown-up.
represents.
Yeah, it's symbolically.
It's everything against what she is.
Interesting. Now, I just think it's weird that she has this crush on someone that she hasn't seen since she's 8, and also is.
He must have had a lasting
person.
impression.
I mean, he's like, that's a toxic relationship. Maybe not by the end of the movie, but like they get introduced way before the end of the movie, and she's not making. She needs to go listen to whatever the last episode of Redemption was and learn some tenets of self-respect and relational boundaries, because that's not. I wouldn't recommend the Grinch as a romantic
like
partner.
in the movie though, symbolically, like the Who world is out of balance and the Grinch is out of balance, and so the Grinch is alone and he's kind of like chewing on glass bottles, and then the Who'sville is like corrupt. It's got some corruption going on. Like they're getting all the presents and gifts for like the one dude, right?
They offer 99% off for Black Friday or Christmas
yeah,
Eve Friday,
and it's like
whatever
this
it is.
toxic consumer culture. So
Yes.
I really like the idea that like there's a yin and yang there. Like, you know, the Grinch is like this bad boy who's come to trample on Christmas, and she's like, save me from this oppressive consumer hell.
So Kurt has a crush on Martha May Huvier.
I kind of did. I kind of did when I watched it. I was like, wow, he's getting the babe. Or, you know.
My gosh, their noses, I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
It's like, seriously.
They're
You know that
basically
they did that
cartoon
by
characters,
pushing
so that's
straws. They put straws in their nose that would make their nose.
Did they actually? Ugh,
Yeah.
That probably hurts. Everyone was just in pain making this movie. But it's a
Yeah,
good
that's
thing that
why
they were.
when they asked if he wanted
We
to
get
do
to
a
watch it.
sequel, he said no.
What? See, why would you make a sequel? That movie is perfect, like a
I don't know if
perfect
you could
capsule.
top it. Yeah.
What's the sequel going to be about? The Grinch learns
Maybe
about
Grinch.
the true meaning of Christmas Part 2 because he forgot. I don't.
Yeah,
I, don't wanna see
I would pay to see it
It's
though.
called The Grinch Happy Easter.
He's got like a flamethrower. It's apocalyptic.
They do Halloween.
Happy Easter. Is that what you said?
Tim Burton steps in and is like, all right, let's take
Tim
this.
Burton was supposed to direct. Actually, they were considering him for the director. Would have been a much different movie.
Oh, it would have been a much darker movie.
Yes.
Yeah, I think
Danny
it was
DeVito would have been in there somewhere
Danny DeVito.
playing the.
I think it still would have been good. It would have been different. I've watched Wednesday, the new Wednesday that came out. I thought that was kind of
Excellent.
fun. Yeah, I
Haven't
thought
seen
that
it
was
yet.
fun.
This is a different subject
Different
for
subject.
a different time.
I'll come back to it. We'll come back
because we're
to
already
Wednesday.
at 30 minutes, and I hope that you were able to spend your Christmas with us. We won't take too much of your time. Go have dinner with your family, or if you're not doing Christmas dinner with your family, then go have Christmas dinner with your dog that you are in a unhealthy, abusive relationship with.
in a cave
Don't
with
in a
garbage.
Don't
cave.
abuse your dogs.
Don't abuse your dogs. Diagnonsense does not condone the abusing of any animal of any kind.
No animal was harmed in the making of this podcast.
Correct. Or in the making of the Grinch, I'm sure. But anyway, yeah, there you go. Everyone got problems. Long story short, everybody got problems. The mayor got problems. Martha May Whovier got problems. The Grinch got problems. Max got problems.
Cindy Lou's the
Cindy
hero.
Lou Who, she got problems though.
She's not the hero.
She doesn't
The Grinch
know.
is the
She's
hero.
asking Christmas where it's at. She can't hear it.
Oh my god!
Did Christmas
Thank you
change
guys
or
for
was it
tuning
just
into
her?
Diagnonsense. I'm your host, Justin Pendergrass. Kurt, do you have any final thoughts?
Well, I think just getting it into balance is what it's all about during the holidays. So sometimes you gotta little balance goes a long ways.
Little
So I think
balance.
that's it. What's
Find
what
your
the Grinch
inner
is about.
Grinch.
Well,
It's yin and yang. It's like the fight. It's like the Fight Club of Christmas.
Grinch is the Fight Club of Christmas. That's an
Here we go,
interesting.
breaking the rules again.
Yeah, but maybe don't like eat glass bottles and live in
Yeah,
garbage.
don't
Maybe
do that.
don't do that. But you can call people out for their societal consumerism and
Matter of fact, if you are living like that,
Hypocrisy.
you can call the My House number.
907-373 help. That's 373-4357. Yes.
We can help you.
If you're between the ages of 14 to 25.
There you go.
I'm done.
That was fun.
That was fun.